All right, Steve Schirmer, the Golf Gambling Podcast here with your one and done picks for the 2024 RBC Canadian Open. Was not here last week. Wouldn't have helped you. Every time it seems like I've skipped a week, the guy has missed the cut. So maybe I should actually be a little more committed to this video and give it out, because then I'll actually start making money in my one and done contest and actually help you guys and give you some winners. So we are going to the Hamilton Golf and Country Club, as we talked about on the Monday preview show. Underwent a recent renovation by Martin Ebert. He is the Open Championship doctor. Just to kind of reshape the bunkers, alter some fairway lines. They rebuilt the greens, expanded them a little bit. So, but overall, though, when we looked at the course map, I don't think it's going to play all that much different than what it did back in 2019. So you can probably use the results of 2019 as a good barometer when picking guys this week. It might be a little tougher on the greens and maybe a little tougher putting contests. But overall, though, I think the types of players you're going to see this week is, while, yes, Rory McIlroy did run away with the tournament in 2019, he did it because he hit the sixth most fairways on the week. There's some other bombers who did rather poorly that week, like a Joaquin Niemann or Brooks Koepka or Dustin Johnson even. It's because, yeah, they hit it up far, but they weren't very accurate with their tee shots. So the rest of the top 10s that week were like your Henrik Stensons, your Webb Simpsons, Matt Kuchars. I would expect something kind of similar this week. So I'm trying to target guys who I feel like are pretty good at places like Harbour Town and Sedgefield Country Club. Those types of players tend to do a little better at shorter positional golf courses where there's a lot of short irons, lots of birdies too. Also, guys who in my head might be pretty good at Open Championship setups. So let's go with 5 picks for your one and done contest for the 2024 RBC Canadian Open. Let's start with Seamus Power at number 5. It's a guy I really like this week. He's been hitting his irons really good lately. A good finish at Quail Hollow recently. He was in the mix at the Valspar, and Data Golf does a comparison to golf courses that are similar to Hamilton Golf and Country Club based on predictive skill sets. Its number one golf course is Port Royal for the Bermuda Championship, which Seamus Power won. So, he's been having a lot of trouble with the putter lately. Maybe he can start getting that going in carts and birdies, but at a shorter positional track where he's been hitting his ball striking very well lately, I like a guy like Seamus Power. So he's a consideration this week for one and done at number 5. Number 4, how about Adam Hadwin? Obviously, you have pressure with the Canadian Open with him being Canadian, and it hasn't been very good for him lately. But I wouldn't really consider the last couple tournaments for Adam Hadwin to be Adam Hadwin golf tournaments. A PGA Championship probably is not suited to Adam Hadwin's game. Neither is Quail Hollow anymore. The result at Harbour Town is a little concerning, but he has shown flashes this year on Adam Hadwin type tracks. For example, at the Valspar or at Amex or at Riviera, where he's been very good at those places. Try and play Adam Hadwin at Adam Hadwin type golf courses. He's been pretty solid in the Canadian Opens in his career. He's been pretty solid overall on tighter, shorter bent grass surfaces. So, and maybe using the fuel of wanting to make a President's Cup again and being in his home soil and seeing Nick Taylor win last year, maybe that'll fuel him this week. So I think Adam Hadwin is probably a worthy consideration of one and done. Number 3, Maverick McNeely. We talked about last night about his odds that are kind of laughable and crazy at 35-1, but you're throwing odds out at this point. And McNeely's been playing some pretty good golf lately. The ball striking has been a little better for him. The iron play's been pretty good. One of the things I really like about him, too, is he's got that combination that I'm looking for, where he can find a lot of fairways, and he's such a good putter to make a lot of birdies. And he's been good at places like Harbour Town and Sedgefield. He fits kind of that mold. And he's just been playing very good lately. So I think I'm going to ride the wave with McNeely, as a possible contender for one and done this week. And you probably should too. Number 2, Tommy Fleetwood, probably going to be one of the most popular picks on the board this week for the RBC Canadian Open, but he just fits this place so good. Obviously, we all remember him choking away last year at RBC Canadian Open at Oakdale, but shorter, tighter, Open Championship type architecture when you got Martin Ebert coming in. He did really good at Royal Portrush. That's a hairy colt that was renovated by Martin Ebert. This is a hairy colt this week that was renovated by Martin Ebert as well. So you got the architecture connections with Fleetwood. Obviously, the ball striking is really good for him, especially from under 150. Driving it really well to finding a lot of fairways, and he can have that putter. So, it's surprising this week that At least in the golf gambling community, it doesn't seem like people are tipping Tommy Fleetwood for a win. Maybe it's because the fact it's Tommy Fleetwood and he's 16-1. Well, we all kind of had that same line of thought with Xander a couple weeks ago at 14-1 to win the PGA Championship because it's Xander. He can't win, and he ends up winning. So maybe this is the time for Tommy Fleetwood in a really weak field. But number one for me, I'm going to go with a guy who I feel like is very close to putting together some very good rounds in him. He played pretty well for at least, 50 holes or so at the PGA Championship. He showed some flashes last week at Colonial too. How about Tom Kim as a one and done pick this week? That is going to be my official pick. And he's been driving the ball excellent for his last 3 or 4 tournaments, gaining a lot of strokes by finding a lot of fairways. And that's going to be very important this week. He definitely is somebody who can roll the rock as well and card a lot of birdies. The iron play has definitely been suspect. I need that to be better out of Tom Kim this week. But he tends to excel on golf courses where it demands a lot of shorter irons. And I'm going to ride just that general template with him this week of a guy who hits a lot of fairways, generally pretty good with the short irons, can drain a lot of putts. That's Tom Kim for me. So he's going to be my one and done pick this week for the RBC Canadian Open. Thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the Golf Gambling Podcast on Spotify and Apple. Also subscribe to our YouTube channel that you're watching here. We give you free content every single week for every single PGA Tour tournament and Live tournament, by the way, whenever they decide to show back up. And also follow us on Twitter and TikTok as well. We put out content there too. So with that, good luck with your bets this week at the RBC Canadian Open. Good luck with your one and done contest. We'll see you next week.